What is going on, everybody? How are we doing today? We're gonna win the Europa League. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. We're not gonna win the Europa League. Sorry, let myself get a little excited there for a second. But no, we are here to discuss United's 2-0 victory over FCSB, SB. Sorry, in the Europa League yesterday. Obviously, it was a 2-0 victory. Qualifies us in the next round. We don't really need to talk about the entirety. I'm not going to go too much tactical detail just because the match went pretty much as expected. Not really going to want to talk about the first half at all because the first half was just one of the most boring things I've ever seen. But the second half was excellent, I thought. So, but that's what we're here to talk about today. Heading into this final match of the league phase, it was United, Lazio, and Galatasaray who remain the only teams unbeaten in Europe. And at the end of the day, it's only United who remain unbeaten. So no big deal. But of course, I want your thoughts on the match, the performance, the team selection, and all of that, because that's what we do here. This is United versus everybody. And it's all about you guys. It's all about your opinion, your thoughts, your reactions. Like I say many, many times, it is your channel. I'm just here to facilitate the conversation. Big up, Danny B in the house. Good to see you this morning, my friend. Have a lot going on today. I've got a client like right after this, and then I've got to clean up a little bit around here after I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Probably don't sound too much better. I'm very stuffy right now, though, but everyone's pretty much back to normal almost. So today we're going to do that. We're going to review the match. We're going to breeze through some transfer news real quick beforehand, as we usually do. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're still buzzing after that victory. If you want. Today, as I put in the chat, if we can get up to 15 likes today while we're live, and we can maybe get to 2,100 subs. I think we're only like 2 away from getting 2,100. I'll give away 5 memberships live. So you guys keep me honest in the chat, because while I'm reading, I can't always see how many likes and stuff. So let me know what's going on, but we're going to get stuck in. Good morning, everybody. Pearl Lou, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Big up, everyone. Happy Year of the Snake. It is the Year of the Snake, is it? That is awesome. But yeah, big up, everybody. Good to see you again, Pearl. So first off, let's touch on some Matthias Tell updates. So we got some updates yesterday from Romano, and what he really did is just simply share what Bayern Munich's director has already said about Matthias Tell. Max Eberl, the director of Bayern, has said, Matthias wants to go, basically. He's confirmed it. He was asked, on a loan or permanent, and he said, we'll assess the options. I've rarely had so many clubs call me about a player, so a lot of people interested in Matthias Tell. He is a very good young talent. Romano also shared that apparently Tell has now asked for more time to make his final decision after Spurs apparently reached an agreement. It sounds like he doesn't really think Spurs are his best choice. Doesn't sound like that's his first choice to go. Maybe he's waiting to see what other kind of offers he gets in. If it's United, we know that we're interested. It sounds like maybe we have to offload someone like Rashford first and foremost, which could come down to the wire. Romano does reiterate that United are interested. We can only do a loan right now because that's all we can afford. Honestly, though, man, if I'm Matthias Tell and I'm seeing that John Duran is now going to Al Nassr, I mean, what a ridiculous transfer, by the way. But if I'm Tell, I might maybe choose Aston Villa as my destination. He's going to get game time there for sure. He'll get game time at United. He probably wouldn't get as much as he's going to get at Aston Villa, but it just depends on what the player wants. Does he want to go to the bigger club? Does he want to go to the club where he's going to get more minutes? We know that he's already at a big club. He's not getting minutes. That's pushing his move. So if I'm Matthias Tell, I'd probably end up going to Villa, but that's just me. But what do you guys think? Would you take Matthias Tell still? I know we've talked about that, ad nauseum for the better part of the last week. I like Tell. I actually do rate Tell more highly than I rate Garnacho. That doesn't mean I don't rate Garnacho, but I've also said I wouldn't jump at the chance of moving Garnacho on just to get Tell. If you notice, I've only said I will sell Garnacho if somebody gives a really big offer for him. And then that's just smart to do. But it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think. Danny says loan with option. Yeah, I definitely think Tell strengthens us. I think he's still only like 19. Very, very good on the ball, very quick. He's got that bravery that I like to see from attackers, willingness to take people on, which not only a couple people in our squad currently have, or at least they're currently showing. So, but we'll see. It doesn't take long for players in other leagues to come to United who are good at 1v1s to suddenly shy away from that. Anthony was excelling at like 1v4s at Ajax, and then the moment he gets done a couple times, he just stops trying. So it is what it is. Danny's jumping ahead in the chat. Yeah, we're getting there. We're just working on Kenda for the summer. Yeah. Because that brings me to my next point, Danny. And this is coming from David Ornstein this morning, that we are exploring a summer deal for Giovanni Kenda of Sporting Lisbon. Now, it's not the first time we've been linked to Giovanni Kenda. Obviously, Sporting player plays in that right wing back role. He is more wing than back, obviously, but most players in the wing back role tend to be. Wing backs are not designed to be defenders. They're designed to provide width, to be attacking, to provide overloads in the final third. Really, the defensive numbers in the back three come from the defenders and the two midfielders in the pivot. Typically, you're not supposed to see back five more often than not. We've seen that more recently. I don't know, because of just the players we have at our disposal. Mazraoui is not a winger. Dallow's not a winger, kind of a thing. Ornstein says no formal offer yet, but United are looking to move in the summer. He won't be 18 till April. He's going to cost roughly 40 million euros. But it sounds like we're focusing on that as a summer deal. So you guys, what do you think of that one? Do you guys still like Giovanni Kenda? I know a lot of people have been clamoring for him to join us. I've seen some people say, between Gyökeres and Kenda, go for Kenda. I'm still on the fence, mostly because I think we do have a lot of good youngsters who are already Kenda's age, and I prefer not to misprioritize funds in the summer. We're still struggling PSR-wise. We saw this with Mason Mount. I didn't think we needed to spend that money. That wasn't a priority. I said it about Jadon Sancho when we signed Sancho. At that time, we didn't need another winger. We already had many. So it's just, I don't want to see us spend unwisely, especially when we are a little skint. However, it is a refreshing change of pace, if this is true, to see us working ahead on summer deals well before the window opens. I think we're still too slow when it comes to getting business done in the window. That's my opinion. But for years, furthermore, we just seem to be to wait until the transfer window opens to start getting the ball rolling, to start making contacts, to start drawing up a plan. Like, we need to move faster, because at the end of the day, these managers need their players. We can't go a whole summer window and wait until the season's already started to bring in new players. For instance, we can't wait till the end of January to get these deals over the line. It's ridiculous that we do that. It's not helping managers. And like Danny says, yeah, I like him, but I don't want to overpay. I definitely don't want to overpay. I'm tired of overpaying, and I'm tired of overpaying in wages. And like I said, we need to be smart with our priorities right now. And if it's not a priority, we need to remind ourselves of that. It can't just simply be, oh, this player wants to go, he's available. Like, we need to prioritize, because if we keep spending money on the wrong positions, we're going to have the same struggles. So, but you guys let me know what you think. Moving on, guys. It's happening. Rayon Cherki to United. No, I'm just kidding. There has been a fresh link, though. But this is coming from Caught Offside, so take it however way you want. They claim that United have inquired about Rayon Cherki's situation and are keeping tabs. He is available for just 22 million euros, which is just over 18 million pounds. I think that this is really just, Cherki's a no-brainer. I think he suits the system to a T. It's amazing to me that he's still at Lyon. He continually gets linked. Lyon are in a bit of a mess right now. It just makes too much sense. But again, it's one of those situations where why aren't more clubs in forms, kind of a thing. So we're likely not getting Cherki anytime soon. I just, it's hard not to get excited about that. But we did, Danny says 30 to 40 million euro at most on Kenda. I mean, I might even go a little lower than that. But so we're probably not going to get Cherki, despite the links from Caught Offside. Danny says if we don't do Cherki, dude, we are dumb. Cherki, honestly, it just makes way too much sense. He just seems tailor-made for this system personally. But you guys let me know. But we got another David Ornstein Bamba this morning about another young midfielder that we've been linked to for a while, who also happens to be a United fan. I am talking about Sverre Naipan. He is now expected to stay at Rosenborg for the rest of the season, which is weird because it's the rest of our season, but it's not the rest of Rosenborg's season, because their season goes from the spring to the winter. But He was pursued by Arsenal, Girona, other clubs. He was kind of making some rounds. He was at a City game recently as they tried to persuade him to join them, but no agreement has yet been struck. Sounds like, according to David Ornstein, he will be staying at Rosenborg. Maybe he's holding out for his dream move. Who knows? Vishwa, welcome, my friend. Says hello. I think we will get more youngster squad players to get the standards right in the dressing room before getting a star player to make an impact in the first 11. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, and I saw some reports earlier this week that we're trying to build a younger squad that can grow together over the next couple of years, which I don't mind, but we also need a mix of leaders of experience in there, of, the 24, 25, 26-year-olds who have that leadership, because we might be losing a lot of that in the summer in Eriksson, in Casemiro, in Evans. Lindelof's leaving. Maguire, who knows what's going on with Maguire. You have it in De Ligt, you have it in Mizraoui, we do have it in Bruno, but we need more of it in key areas. I do think someone a little more experienced in midfield could be a big help. I do think we still need an experienced striker, because Højlund really shouldn't be carrying all this weight on his own week in, week out. We've never really had, at United, we've never relied on a 20, 21-year-old striker to carry us. Even when Rooney arrived and he was young, we still had Van Nistelrooy and whatnot. That's just not fair. That'd be like relying on Kavi Menu every single week to be our main midfielder. It's not fair. It's not realistic, and you're only going to set yourself up for disappointment. But I hear you. I do like the young players. We've said that many times. Guys like Mastan Tuono, Naipan, and whatnot. I do like that the links are there. I like the idea of building. We do have a lot of youngsters, though, which is why I'm still a little hesitant on Kenda. But you guys let me know if you like Naipan. I'm surprised that he's not going anywhere. Maybe that means that he's holding out for his dream move. We know he's a huge United fan, so we will see what happens. I got to crack this window. It's really hot in here. Let me get a drink real quick. How you guys doing this morning? It's Friday. You guys excited? You guys, anybody at work? Anybody just chilling? Danny B, how's your back, my friend? Hope your back is doing better. So from one midfielder to another, it's been a while since we mentioned this guy, but we're going to talk a little bit about Angel Gomez, because we have been linked with him once again coming from Caught Offside. That the site claims that he would prefer a return to United in the summer before going to Spurs or West Ham, who are apparently both interested in him. Now, remember, Angel Gomez, he will be free in the summer at Lille, playing in kind of a deeper kind of playmaking kind of role. In his pre-match presser ahead of the FCSB game, Amorim said he wants more possession in midfield. And while he believes that Collier and Mainu can offer that, I think personally we need a little bit more press resistance and a little bit more control in possession, in that pivot, in that deeper spot. Also in the 10s, the pivot is a very delicate position in Amorim's system. It requires a lot of energy. It requires a mix of both creativity, possession, but also physicality as well. It's hard to find players who have all of that these days, because most of the time in the last 10 years, players have been defined as, you're 6, you're 8, you're 10, and that kind of typecast you in different responsibilities almost. But in this pivot, these midfielders need to be more like old school, like late 90s, early 2000s, 4-4-2 midfielders, where they're able to do a little bit of everything. Now, it helps if you have a pair who are complementary, like a Bruno and a Ugarte or something, but you need to be able to still offer a little both, which is why I'm not too crazy about Bruno in the pivot more often than not, because I think his press resistance and his physicality are just non-existent. But if it works, it works, and it worked yesterday. But we're not always going to play FCSB every week, so we have to be able to offer something else. But Angel Gomez, you guys know I like. We've done a few videos on him when we were linked with him in the summer. He is another player, I think, who can dictate play, control things. He doesn't fall apart when he's under pressure in his own half. And I like that about him. Other players, you'd think of someone like Ederson at Atalanta, Hayden Hackney at Middlesbrough, Toon Koopmeiners. I really like Toon Koopmeiners. Tijani Reinders is really, really good. Conrad Leimer, all these guys do that. And that's the kind of player I think could come in and do a really good job in midfield for us too. But you guys let me know. We got a couple of little randoms coming on here before we dive into this match. Hit that like button. Where are we at right now on those likes? I only see one like. I'm going to refresh mine and see what this looks like. Hit that like button, you guys. And if I get 15 live and we get up to 2,100, I will give away 5 memberships. So keep it coming. 7 guys watching, 5 likes hit. Keep hitting that like button. We got some Portuguese outlets reporting that Benfica are interested in Tyrell Malacia on loan. And both teams, United and Benfica, are reportedly in talks. This one kind of came out of nowhere. Doesn't really make too much sense simply because Benfica have left backs. I don't see Malacia going there and starting. I mean, it'd be weird for him to go on loan and just kind of be a random rotation option with like Alvaro and whatnot. But again, it's coming from Portuguese outlets. Portuguese outlets can tend to be very, very iffy depending on which ones they are. They like to big up a lot of their own players, similar to like Marca or something in Spain. But and then we have a confirmed departure from the club as well, because one player who has officially been sent out on loan is Dan Gore. Now, I know a lot of you have been calling for Dan Gore to get some time in and around the squad. He's been coming back since his injury. He's been playing with the academy, but now he has officially joined League One sides Rotherham for the remainder of the season. This was announced by both clubs today, so he will go out for 6 months. We've got a few youngsters out. Wheatley just left. Ennis is doing bits at Doncaster Rovers, just got his first goal involvement over the weekend, or early the week. So good luck, Dan Gore. We need these youngsters to go get some minutes playing with men, playing with the first team, playing in a tough league. You know, anytime you can go in the Championship, League One, League Two, and get some minutes as a youngster, it's a big test for you. It's very physical. It's not as, I guess, free-flowing in terms of just the kind of what you're going to see in Premier League. It's going to be very physical. It's going to be a little slower at times as well. But I think if you can make it down in the Championship and stuff, then you're going to be fine. We saw Alvaro do that as well. Did really well on loan before he left to Benfica. So, and then finally, it's being reported that Aiden Heaven, the young defender that we have signed from Arsenal's academy after he and Arsenal couldn't agree on a contract, has been reported that he has passed his medical for United, and we could probably see an announcement at some point today or this weekend. So wrap up with that little piece of transfer news. Anything in there that sticks out to you, anything that you're not buying, anything that you're super excited about, you guys let me know, because we are going to dive into this match review. Starting as always with the starting 11, I want your thoughts on that formation, on the team selection, because it was a bit different. Obviously, the big talking point was Kobbie Mainoo in one of those 10 roles alongside Christian Eriksen, and Collier and Bruno kind of chilling in the pivot. Big shift from Amorim, big call. Malacia started on the left. Dallo got pushed to the right wing back spot. Ugarte still carrying a little bit of a knock, but we'll see. Danny says, I thought he wasn't coming until the summer. I mean, if he's coming to the... Sounds like he's all set to go, man. Sounds like he's probably not going to be playing anytime soon, but kind of like Obi Martin, probably going to come and chill. But that is what's being reported. We will see what happens. Eriksen takes that spot in the 10 as well. Interesting midfield shakeup, to say the least, from Amorim. Big risk. So, playing some players in different positions. Obviously, Bruno's played in the pivot, but pushing Mainoo to the 10 was interesting. Now, I know a lot of you have been crying out for Mainoo to play in the 10 for a while now. And I know some of you were like, Sean, don't get excited. You were the one who said he can't play there. I never said he can't play there. I said he hasn't played there. And so I have no problem with it. But to me, it was just like, he hasn't played there, so why would we expect him to? It's like expecting Amorim to play a different formation. Like, he hasn't done it. Why would I expect him to? Mainoo has played well when he's gotten into advanced positions in the past. He scored some important goals from us in those advanced positions, and yesterday showed that maybe that's an untapped position for him, which we're going to talk about a little later on. But you guys let me know what you thought of that team selection, specifically Mainoo up in the more advanced role, because he did cause a lot of problems. So in terms of the game itself, I was surprised that that FCSB didn't press us as much as they typically do. They're typically known for a high press, especially from midfield, but seemed like they were happy to sit back and hit us on the break. They tried to put up a fight. They tried to get a little physical here and there. To their credit, they did manage to make things boring in the first half. I guess that's probably one of the better compliments I can give to them, is they kept us kind of penned back a little bit. But we had 70% possession. And we actually, as a result, we completed nearly 3 times as many passes as FCSB. We completed almost 600 passes to like 200 for them. We had 21 shots, a third of which was on target. We created 6 big chances, and we had an XG of 2.84. So again, gave us the ball. They were happy to sit back, but we did manage to create some chances. 6 of the shots we had were from inside of the box too, and we had 36 touches inside the box. So it's a nice change of pace to see us get the ball forward and get some practice doing that, get some familiar, because it's not going to happen every week, because it hasn't happened every week. But again, not every team we play is going to be FCSB. In the Premier League especially, you're going to get a high press. You're going to get a lot of energy and physicality. But it's nice to see us kind of get that confidence going. So as far as standouts, I know a lot of people are kind of going to give Manu man of the match, of course, but we'll talk a little more about Manu later. But I think for me, the man of the match, the big standout has to be Licha. Another excellent showing from Licha, 84 of 90 passes completed, 3 chances created, 4 out of 7 long balls, 11 passes into the final third, 1 out of 1 dribbles, 1 out of 1 ground duels, and he wasn't dribble passed at all in the night. It's so odd to me that so many fans were writing Licha off after a few poor performances in the last couple months. Like, form is temporary, folks. It's like, Licha's fine. I think people need to stop taking such a small sample size and extrapolating that to define a player, whether it's Licha, whether it's Højlund, whether it's... there are people already crying out for Manu, saying like he ain't him after he had a couple of slow performances in the last month or so. Like, it's form. Form is temporary. They'll be fine, okay? Extrapolate that over a couple seasons, and then you can see how it goes. Vishwa says, if Manu can make that position his, and we need to prioritize for 2 center mids to rotate with Ugarte and Collier. Yeah. The nice thing is that Vishwa, it shows that there's a little bit of versatility here. You know, we're able to swap people and move them around if we need to in a pinch, which is a good asset to have in your squad. You know, it's nice to be able to do that. Like, if Cherki came in, Cherki could play on the right wing back, or he can play in one of the 10s. If Naipan came in, Naipan can play in the pivot. He can play maybe in a wide position if we need him to. He can play in a 10. Like, he can do a lot of things. Like Cunha could play as the 9 if we need him to, but he'd probably do well in a 10, and that's probably his better position. Like, it's great to be able to have that, and I think that that's what this system does allow for in some respects. Speaking of form is temporary, how good was Eriksen in the second half? Again, everything was quiet in the first half, but in the second half, Eriksen came alive, playing as one of those 10s. He was buzzing around. He was getting involved in everything, constantly a focal point to cycle possession, to get his teammates out of trouble, to slow things down, to build the attack, and create a new spell of possession. He made 11 passes into the final third and created 2 chances, Eriksen. He was just a good little holding playmaker, metronome, basically, just to keep things ticking. I really like that from him. It's too bad that his legs are gone. I wish this was Eriksen from like 5 years ago. It would be perfect, I think. But it is what it is. Danny, did you not see me talk about that earlier? I said that the report was that he was going to go back to Rosenborg for the rest of the season. That's about as much as I have, though. I mean, that was the report coming out today. Nipan has not made a decision. So, and that was coming from, who's that coming from? That was coming from David Ornstein. So, Højlund had a better match, not a great match still. It was just a quiet match. But he had a better one. 100% pass accuracy, 23 touches, 3 shots, 2 shots on target. He won 3 fouls, and he created a big chance. Like, not a bad match from Højlund, just not a great one, and it was better. But this is the thing. Højlund's going to needs to not be the main guy week in, week out, because he's just not there yet. He worked hard, yes. He made a lot of runs yesterday, showed a lot of better movement yesterday, but it's still just, he's not quite there yet. He's isolated when he does receive the ball. If you look, more often than not, he's literally standing and there's 2 defenders super, super tight to him. So, and then when we received the pass, it was literally 3 players on him like glue, and they're kicking him and pushing him and pulling him all over the place. No thanks to the ref, who failed to kind of stamp that out until later on in the second half. He made a great run in the 19th minute, which was picked out by Licha. And then he squared it for Manu, who really should have put that away. Højlund should have had an assist on the night. Manu probably should have had another goal because he skied it. But I think Højlund and Licha are linking up pretty well. They seem to be Licha seems to be finding Højlund's runs a lot more. I wish Højlund's teammates would find his runs a little bit more, but it is what it is. He had another chance with a late run into the box in the 30th minute that he got a head on. If he would have maybe gotten a foot to that or something, he might have put that in, but it is what it is. But when we're picking him out, he's making things happen. And so this is the problem. We're not getting the ball into the final phase of attack enough. And then when we do, we're not seeing him making these runs. And I literally pointed out the statistic to you several times. Now, I'm not excusing his poor match against Fulham. That was awful. And I just said yesterday, while it was better than what it was against Fulham, it wasn't a perfect match, but we can't expect that. We have to stop expecting 28-year-old level performances from a 21-year-old, again, who really shouldn't be starting every week. He wasn't supposed to start every week when we signed him. He really shouldn't be there yet. It is what it is. But Collier had another good game, another start in Europe, and another composed showing from him. 94% pass accuracy, 1-on-1 dribbles, 1-on-1 long balls, 1 pass at the final third, 1 interception, and 3 out of 4 duels. So really just a good, solid, tidy performance from Collier as well. Honestly, the only negative I could think of was Malacia. He's going to, whether he's just not good enough or if he's still working on match sharpness, I don't know. But he's just behind everything. It cost him a yellow in the first 10 minutes, just making a stupid challenge. I don't know why you go to ground that early in a match. It doesn't make sense to me. Early warning signs on the set piece, too, that resulted from the foul. It's just too easy for them to get the ball into us. But again, this comes from Malacia making mistakes. He made one a little bit later on in the first half, too. We made a really soft, sloppy, careless back pass that was pounced upon immediately by an FCSB attacker, and it almost gave them an opportunity. So Malacia, I don't think is going to do it. Malacia later. I think that's it for him. What did Amorim had to say? Anything interesting from Amorim? Overall, he says, it's becoming more natural, this feeling of winning. Obviously, we've got a bunch of wins in recent weeks. He says that's really important. He says you can feel the dressing room is more relaxed, but more relaxed in a good way because we know that everything can change on Sunday. But you feel it's a different environment. We want to keep that feeling to work in a better way. It's a little critical. He says we played well, but a bit more slowly. He says FCSB were really close. They covered a lot of spaces. They pressed the defenders, but we managed to create chances. So just looking at the other stuff here, nothing much. The pressers are boring these days, guys. What are you guys saying here? Vishwa, do you prefer Cavani's Zlatan type of striker, experience in short term, allowing Xerxes and Højlund to learn their traits, or get someone like Haaland to lead the line? Now, you guys know I like Gyökeres. I think he suits Amorim's system. Obviously, he has excelled at Sporting under Amorim, but I would take Gyökeres, who is 26, 27 now. I really like him a lot, and I think he could come in and do bits for us personally. I don't necessarily know if a Cavani Zlatan type of striker. If you're looking for profile, I don't think a poacher is necessarily what we need because we're not getting the ball enough. But we need someone like Gyökeres who plays the system that Amorim plays, and I think Højlund is that profile. He's just very young. But yeah, I would want a more experienced striker because Højlund also needs to learn. He's got no one to learn off of right now. He's come in and he's basically been told. He came in last season. Remember last season we didn't have Xerxes. It was just Højlund. And he's coming in, he's a 20-year-old, and we're just like, here you go, figure it out. Now we had Ruud there to help him, right? Which was good, but last season has also saw him be our top scorer. He had 16 goals in all comps for such a young striker in his first season at the club. People seem to be forgetting that as well. But I do want an older striker because Højlund really shouldn't be starting week in, week out. We wouldn't expect that from any other 20, 21-year-old under a normal circumstance, unless they're freakish like Haaland or Palmer or something, or Bukayo Saka at Arsenal. But Amorim had a couple thoughts. Nothing really major, like I said. I just read out. I'll read a couple more a little later on. But here are some of mine because you guys know that I am all about my 3 thoughts. That's what we do every time we do a match reaction. I completely forgot to pull them up on this computer, though. So give me 1 second. Be sure to hit that like button. Where are we at in the likes right now? Let me check it and see. 5 likes, you guys. We've got 5 watching, 5 likes. Hit the like button and see what we can do to get to 3K subscribers. We're on the road to 3K. We can get 2,100 today, I think. I believe in you guys. So let me just do this. This is so professional. There we go. So my first thought on the match. Attack still needs work. I think that we saw some good signs, but the first half, honestly, was just boring. It mostly consisted of United passing the ball around, trying to unlock FCSB, and then them kind of winning the ball and hitting us on the break. Not a ton of urgency, not a ton of onus on either side. Overall, we simply take too long to put a ball into the box. We take too long to get the ball forward. I mean, it's no wonder we don't score many goals. I don't understand how we're unbeaten in Europe because we just don't score goals. Overall, it's just too slow, and the attack needs a little bit more momentum moving forward. We get wide players in the overlap, but far too often we pass it backward, and we just make it harder on ourselves to create these opportunities because, again, nobody's getting the ball forward. We're not able to get the ball into the box. It's like we're hesitant, we're scared. It's like we're waiting for the perfect pass, the perfect opportunity. The introduction of Ahmad and Garnacho in the second half, though, completely changed all that. We needed a little bravery, a little courageous play after that first half, some willingness to get the ball forward, to get into dangerous areas, to take a man on and make something happen. Too many of these United players just are too unwilling to do that. But Garnacho and Ahmad were the answer to that problem. They came on for Malasse, they came on for Collier. We switched things up a little bit. Ahmad went to right wing back. Dalla moved back to the left. Garnacho took up a left 10. And it didn't take long for them to get involved. Nearly got involved in a goal after pouncing on a back pass. Garnacho, he did hit the outside of the post with that opportunity. So again, a little sloppy. But so what's going to be saying? Oops, wrong button. And then Ahmad won a corner shortly after that as well. And that was all within 3 minutes of both of them coming on. We had a shot from Garnacho after pouncing on something, and then Ahmad wins a corner. So within 3 minutes of the second half, that's what we got. So despite coming off the bench at halftime, Garnacho had more dribbles than any other player on the pitch. And now in his assists for Manu later on the match also takes him to 14 goal involvements this season. So he's doing his job. He's making an impact like he did when his first season under Ten Hag. You guys remember those numbers as a substitute were impeccable. The issue is, though, again, that's why I say attack still needs work. Shouldn't have to rely on second half changes at halftime. We shouldn't have to rely on youngsters with fresh legs always and energy to pull us through a match when we're struggling to make things happen. We have to find a way to create chances without over-reliance on Ahmad, without having to rely on these youngsters to have a go at tired legs. Like, we have to figure something out. So the other attackers need to step it up. The wing-backs who start need to step it up and get the ball forward. But you guys let me know what you think about that. Because I am going to move on to my next point here. And that is a new role for Kabi. Goal and assist for Kabi Manu in his first start as a 10. First time in his career, he has a goal and assist in a match as well. He got a goal in the 68th when Garnacho squared another ball into the area for him. He calmly put that away, just passed it underneath the keeper. And honestly, not even just the finish link up, the assist from Garnacho to put away from Manu, but even up until that goal, moving the ball into that area, the link up between those two to move the ball around and create that opportunity was stellar as well. And it came because Manu has that in his locker. I think that he looks good as one of the 10s, and now he's become the first United player to score and assist a goal in his major European start since Rooney 20 years ago against Fenerbahce, and that was coming from Opta. Amorim was asked about Kabi's position in this new role, and he had a bit of an exciting response. He says, Kabi played in a different position with more freedom, more near the box. He's so technical, he can change the game there. I think it's a good position for him. We will see, but I'm happy to see Kabi enjoy the game more. And Kabi said that too after. He's enjoying his time. He's ready to do whatever what needs to be done. Amorim says sometimes he's worrying about the recovery runs, trying to defend, and I know that he's trying. Today I felt Kabi was enjoying the game more, and I'm happy for that. So Amorim sees that maybe Kabi asked to play a little deep. We haven't been getting the most out of him because he can't fully focus on the best attributes that he has, and he's more focused on being defensive. Now, Kabi has been effective there in a deeper role because his interception numbers were really good to start the season. But I said it early on in the season too, compared to last season, if you looked at the heat map, Kabi's heat map was a lot deeper starting this season than it was last year. And I was worried that we weren't getting as much out of him. I wasn't ready to throw him in the 10 simply because he's never really played there. But now he has. This could be a new role. It'll be interesting to see if he plays there again this weekend against Crystal Palace. Bruno and Ugarte in the pivot, Kabi, Garnacho in the 10s, maybe Ahmad right wing back, maybe Dorgu left wing back. How does that sound to you moving forward? You guys let me know. What do you think about Kobe in the 10? Would you like to see that again this weekend? I'm going to move on to my third point. Halftime talk worked wonders. Second half was very good. Arguably the best attacking performance we've had under Amorim. Now, you can argue that the Everton match is up there, and I hear you. 4-0 against Everton, it's hard to argue against that. But I'm talking from a pattern of play, controlled attacking perspective, a link-up perspective, a system perspective. I think it was very good. We saw a shift in intensity. We saw a shift in ball control. And not just in possession, but I mean control. It wasn't just that we had the ball, it's what we were doing with the ball that I saw a shift in. We attacked, and even if FCSB were able to repel that and then launch a counter, I wasn't super worried, even though I thought we were cut open a little bit too easily. But we'd simply just get the ball back and we'd go on the attack again. Like, that's what I mean, control possession. We definitely turned it up a bit in the second half. Amorim is known for doing that. We've seen him do that at Sporting many, many times. We've seen him do that and change games at United already, and yesterday was just another example of that. I thought we just went up a gear. It helps, the introduction of Ahmad and Garnacho definitely helped. They brought a lot of that courageous play, that energy. In this, there were still some worrying signs. On more than one occasion, like I said, our midfield left gaps that were exploited. It took one pass to get the ball from their half into our third, for instance. But we've been like that for years now. So while that's not on Amorim in terms of blame, it is on him in terms of responsibility to address it and to fix it, though. So we need to get a little bit more solidity in that midfield. What are we saying here in the chat? Vishwa, talking about young players. Bellingham, 21, performing at Real, while we're talking about Xerxes, 23, Collier, 21, Højlund, 21, needs more time to develop. How young is actually young for you? Well, 21 is still young, but comparing players like Bellingham to Højlund, for instance, is just not. That's just an unfair comparison, because yes, you can, if you only look at one number or one statistic, I guess if you want to call that in these comparisons, in this case age, it's very easy to make it kind of the argument suit your narrative. I'm not saying you have a narrative, but you have to remember Bellingham is an outlier. Haaland is an outlier. Cole Palmer is an outlier. That's like comparing every right-sided attacker to Lionel Messi, and then by that comparison, you're calling literally everybody that isn't Messi a complete failure as a footballer. Like, it just doesn't make sense, because there's always the age-old adage of different players develop at different rates, and you guys know I'm a firm believer in right player, right manager, right club at the right time, because it just doesn't always work out. Certain players under a certain manager, a certain system will excel in others. It's just the way football works. It's the way players and people work in general. So you could easily take Haaland and put him in this United side, and he probably wouldn't score nearly as many goals. So again, system kind of a situation. I'm not blaming Amorim. I'm just saying it's the system and the players around him as well. So I don't have an answer in terms of how young is too young, because I don't know if there is an answer to that. I think if you're good enough, yes, but not every player that is young is going to be as good. It's unfair to compare in that regard, in my opinion. And Jamie Vardy didn't really start performing until his mid-20s at Leicester. If you look at what Harry Kane was doing when he was Rasmus Højlund's age, he was on loan at Leicester at that point. Mo Salah, Cavani was still at Palermo, I think, when he was still Højlund's age. And so if you had taken a 21-year-old Edinson Cavani and put him in this United side right now, how well would you expect him to actually do? Again, it's hard, but there's only certain ways we can make comparisons. So I'm trying to add as much context and as much objectivity as I can. So it's not just about age, because there's always that factor of players are different. Now that they don't all develop at the same rate. And so, but it's really up to you. I'm not saying I'm right, anyone else is wrong. I'm just saying this is what I think. This is why I think this way. You guys are more than welcome to disagree. Just let me know. That's why we're here. But at the end of the day, we finished the league phase third, 18 points. And out of 72 clubs between Champions League and Europa League, we are the only unbeaten team. I don't count the Conference League. It's a money grab competition that was created like 3 or 4 years ago, for fuck's sake. The only people who counted are Chelsea fans. And this win also means Amorim has become the second Manchester United manager to win his first 4 European games after Sir Alex Ferguson. So he's in good company as far as that goes. And then we've got the final 8. The final 8 are Lazio, Bilbao, United, Spurs, Eintracht Frankfurt, Lyon, Olympiacos, and then Rangers snuck in the depth. I saw Nice finish second to bottom on just 3 points in the Europa League. So, Sir Jim, just sell Nice. You don't need him anymore. We can't exchange players with them anyway. We couldn't buy Todibo, which I'm not that upset about now. But what's the point of owning them? They're struggling. Just sell them. Somebody come in and do another job. Sell that club. Keep Lausanne Sport for all I care. We can send youngsters there a lot, and we can use that as a good little feeder system. But focus on United, sell Nice, keep Lausanne. Like, it doesn't make sense to keep them. I read that our potential opponents in the next round could be Sociedad, Galatasaray, AZ Alkmaar, or Midtjylland. They all have to play an extra round to get to us, though. So who would you guys want to get in the next round? Who do you guys want to get drawn against? I'm tired of Sociedad. I'm tired of Spanish opposition, if I got to be honest. We always seem to struggle. We did really well against Real Betis, but that was 2 years ago, and we're not always going to get Real Betis. But I'm still a little traumatized by Galatasaray. You guys remember I was at that match last year at Old Trafford. It did not go well. So I'd like to avoid those two if possible. Just give me Midtjylland, please. I'm not even shameless about it. I'm not even going to try to hide. I'm not one of those fans who's puffing up his chest being like, I want to play the best. I want to show that we're the best. I want the best draw possible for us. I want the easiest draw because I want to get far into the competition. So no offense to Midtjylland, but I want Midtjylland. I want to go into the next round. So no time to be a hero in this competition. We got to get deep into these competitions. We got trophies. Now, I don't think we're going to win. I do want the best chance of winning, and I think Midtjylland offers that right now because Alkmaar could still surprise you on the day. We do have Palace on Sunday, but the team did stay in Romania overnight. Amorim said there's no other way to do it. We can go back and not sleep, not eat properly, but we're going to eat now. We're going to sleep. Some guys are going to train. We're going to recover. We arrive back late Friday. Some players can be a little upset, but it's a good thing, and they will be prepared for Sunday. So we do have Palace on Sunday. I will try to preview that one tomorrow. I'm already working on that one because these games are coming thick and fast. It's hard to get some time in between. I've still got homework I got to do for this PFA class, so I got to find all sorts of time, and then I've got a client right after this. So, but you guys let me know who is your man of the match. Let me know if there are any standouts. Let me know your thoughts as we qualify for the round 8. Who do you want to get drawn against? Are you one of these guys are one of these people who's like, I want to play the best to prove that we can do it, or you're just like, no, give me crap because I want to go in the next round. But let me know what you think. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Crystal Palace preview. Until then, enjoy your day. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe for me too. If you weren't able to catch the live, no worries. Leave a comment. You guys know I will respond to all the comments, as I always do. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And I think the youngsters have a Manchester Derby tomorrow as well in the morning. So if you guys have access to MUTV, give that a watch if you want to see how the youngsters, if you want to learn firsthand more about what all this youngster hype is about, because you guys know I go on and on about it. We did that watch along for one of the youngster matches a few months back. So Academy is the strongest it's been in a long time. So tomorrow is a good opportunity to check that out. So until then, thank you guys for stopping by. I will see you on the next one. Later.